welcome you to yet another edition of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Today we're going to go on a bit of an adventure in exhaustion. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and let's tiredly jump onto this exhaustion road right now. Well, political exhaustion is what I'm referring to, folks. It was said that Donald Trump had a very horrid week last week, what with his stance on nuclear machinations, shall we say, of foreign policy, and then his debacle with the abortion issue, among some other things with Raphael Cruz. He had a pretty busted up and battered week. Well, what makes me so tired, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that this political debacle, known as the Decision 2016, is nothing more than that. I have grown very tired of the whole process, and there's about, another 3.5 months or so to go until the actual conventions and all that. So it's a pretty long haul, and already I have grown very tired. And I would imagine many of you have too. It was said this morning on Meet the Press that should Donald Trump start losing big, he may go down in history as being the biggest losing political candidate ever, far surpassing McGovern and a lot of the others. I felt that was a wrong statement by the moderator and the people that were there. If Donald Trump goes down the tubes, it's not him that would become the biggest loser. It would be the American people. Again, I say, they don't like Donald Trump. They want to get rid of him, both figuratively and literally. Well, what have they got in the other 4 remaining candidates? Slithery Clinton, total washout. Bernie Sanders, total washout. John Kasich, forget it. Raphael Cruz, exec, get me a bucket. I think I'm going to puke.
On it.
So, what have you got? Let's look at this thing. Let's just suppose, for the sake of supposing, that the Trump man goes all the way. He gets the White House. Okay, we know the Republican establishment can't stand him. And the Democrats, they can't stand him. So would this not be a continuation of Oh Bastard in the way that there is gridlock? Let's just suppose, for the sake of supposing, that Slithery Clinton gets it. And that's a very good likability. Well, you can kiss the United States goodbye. Such a cool little country, I kind of hate to see it go. But with that beast, that doomsday device in office is a lousy guarantee that this country will remain as it has remained for over 200 years. One whole wonderful rock. So let's go back a little bit. Why have I grown so tired? Am I tired of all the divisiveness? Yes. Am I tired of all the foolishness? Yes. Am I tired of all the childishness? Yes. Am I tired of all of the rank stupidity? Yes. Am I tired of all of the ignorance? Damn Skippy. As I've said so many times on so many of the shows, we are a nation in peril. I don't give a tinker's damn about the lies they tell, the propaganda they conjure up, talking about the economy is good, the economy is better. It may be better for the fat cats on Wall Street to buy buildings and play Monopoly with real money and real buildings. To be able to buy $500,000 or $600,000 worth of hedge funds or pork bellies. It's good for them, but for the people on Main Street, it's still bad. I know that, you know that, and they know that. So we look forward with this change at the helm for someone to get in there and try to make things better. Fat chance. How do I know this? What you do in little, you'll do in great. It used to be a time when we as voters had to determine whether or not we wanted to go Republican or go Democrat. Now, it's gotten harder. There's a game changer because now there is so much divisiveness between each person in each party consecutively that now we've got to work that much harder. Well, I don't know about you folks, but I don't want to work that hard. And then there is the fact of what's coming to these various parties. What are we getting as a product? To see people tear each other down, like so many kids on a playground, is ludicrous. Now Trump is apologizing to Cruz for saying whatever he said about his wife. Shouldn't have ever happened. Is Cruz going to turn around and do the same thing? I doubt it. At least the Trump man is the bigger man for wanting to do this. But as I alluded to earlier, it shouldn't have ever happened. You shouldn't get that far down into the muck and the mire that you start dragging people's family members into stuff. You can agree to disagree. You can even agree on some of the issues. But to get down and start acting like a childish fool is not something that I'd want to see in a commander-in-chief. I'm going to be honest. For a 60, whatever, I think he's 63 years old, Trump, and Cruz is 45, they're way over the age of adults. You know, I can see if they were both 18, maybe 18 and 19. Yeah, there may be a little bit of a child still in them. But these are two old men. One's older than the other one, and they're acting like 4-year-old children. Makes me tired. I'm exhausted from your crap. Grow up. I don't know how many times I got to say it. Grow up. Stop the stupid idiocy of things. Cruz thinks he's such a hot shot because now he's a few points ahead of Trump. Hey, well, Raphael, they don't want you either. You know that they don't want you when they put Kasich over you. Kasich is about as exciting as watching cars rust. So you don't have anything to whoop-de-doo about. They don't want your butt either. Yeah. I've never seen such idiocy in politics. And believe me, I've seen a lot of idiocy in politics. We know that there are two death knells in a politician's life. One is when he doesn't necessarily agree with homosexuality and abortion. Okay, Donald Trump, when asked a poignant question, very direct question about gay rights, but for abortion, would he want the mother of the child, the aborted child, to serve time for killing that kid? He said yes. And then later backtracked, flip-flopped on it. Oh, well, I didn't know, I may have misspoke. I didn't mean the woman, I meant the doctors. And no. I have been looking for a politician that stands resolute on the idea of abortion. Abortion is something you do to a mission. Many a times, I was a big NASA fan back in the early 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s, some of the 2000s, with the missions to the moon, the missions into space, the space shuttle, all that good stuff. And when things didn't go right, they said, we're going to have to abort this mission because we're going to lose our trajectory. We can't get the rocket, through the atmosphere. Our window of opportunity is closing. We're going to have to abort the mission and try it again another day. That's an abortion. When there is a human life in the balance and you kill it, that's murder. Pure and simple. I have stood stand pat, resolute. I do not change. I've lost a girlfriend over it. I'm not going to change my principles. Donald Trump. Kind of screwed up there, buddy. You should not have compromised your principles for anything, even if it includes the presidency of the United States. If you're a man, you stand your ground. If you're a woman, you stand your ground. You do not compromise your principles just because it's expedient for you to do so. I haven't much to lose. I do the show on YouTube. I have followers. I have viewers. If they choose to stop watching me because of my stance on abortion, then so be it. I don't change for anybody. And I say that abortion is murder. And it is. I applauded Donald Trump so loudly that they probably could have heard me clapping at the nearest abortion clinic when he said that any woman who lies there and kills a child should do time. And she should. She should do psychiatric time, because who knowingly wants to kill somebody? And then she should be brought up on charges of first-degree murder, because if that's not premeditation, I don't know what the hell is. And any doctor, nurse, practitioner, whatever, that aids in that abortion should be brought up as an accessory. Why is it when a murderer kills a pregnant woman and her unborn child, he or she is brought up on 2 counts of murder? Not 1 count of a murder and an accidental abortion. If you believe that abortion is legal because of the woman's right to choose, then you should let all of the ones that have postpartum depression and that have aborted their child outside of the womb out of prison. The logic is just that idiotic. No, I'm not against women. I'm against murder. I'm all for a woman's right to choose. A woman should be able to choose the right to not have sex. A woman should choose to tell that guy to get that shriveled up thing away from me. You don't create life and then turn around and kill it as collateral damage because you made a little slip. I don't believe in that. Never have, never will. And for all of you naysayers out there who probably want to tear me apart now, think of this. You're a female. You've got a female friend or a female relative who is pregnant. That female friend is off to work one morning and she is assaulted, ultimately murdered. Her and her pregnant, her unborn child, as she is pregnant. How would you feel? Would you want the murderer to go to prison based on 2 counts of murder because he murdered your friend or your relative and her baby? Or would you want to go on 1 count? Oh, he murdered my sister. He murdered my friend. And oh, so sorry, he did an accidental abortion. No, you'd be chomping at the bit for that bastard to go down for 2 counts of murder. So why flip the coin if the mother just wants to go in herself and kill her child? That's what the Trump man initially said, that they should do time. And I'd be damned if he didn't flip-flop on it not 24 hours later. I didn't understand the question. I may have misspoke. No, you didn't. You want the presidency so bad that you compromised your principles. Doesn't work for me. The problem that's going on over in Korea. Should nuke that bastard. He's been flipping us off with bombs and launches and all of this stuff. They should have finished him off when they had the war over there years ago, back in the 40s. But you pussyfoot around. You tinker around. You play with them. As Patton said, no dumb bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making sure the other poor dumb bastard died for his country. What are we doing here? Our country has gone to hell. And do we not have anyone that can pick up the slack? The best we can do is have a bunch of 45 and 65-year-old kids playing you kill my dog, I kill your cat. I'm tired. I have no time for it. It's disgusting. He has a bad week. They all have a bad week. Look at the Democrats. Now Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are going at it head to head. It's terrible. Our country is in strife. We've got people on the streets. We've got veterans not being taken care for or taken care of. I can't even speak. Let me get myself a little something here. Excuse me. We've got veterans out there that are not being cared for. We've got so many problems of our own that are not being taken care of. And we need somebody in there that can do something to help us move ourselves forward because we're stuck. We've been stuck in a rut for I don't know how many years. We've been stuck in a rut because we continue to deal with the same old, stale, nasty government that we've always had. We've got congressmen, we've got senators, we've got Supreme Court justices that have worn out 7 or 8 presidents. Try something new. They need to clean house, get all those bastards out of there, put new people in there with fresh ideas, and help to move us forward. We don't need laws and taxes and all kinds of crap that is going to stagnate us and send our jobs away from home. We don't need greed in this country in which landlords and banks raise up housing prices and leasing payments and apartment rents so high that our own citizens end up on the streets. We don't need politicians or political wannabes who don't want to raise the minimum wage. They scrape and they holler about $15 an hour. Even if that were so, there would be a lot of people still below the poverty line. When are we going to wake up as a people and say no more? The people over there in France are raising hell because of what the government wants to give to the people who provide the jobs, the business owners. They want to give them all the power. Those people are out in the streets and they're raising hell. In many parts of the world, they're raising hell when the governments don't do what is of the people, for the people, and by the people. But the people in this country sit there looking stupid, marching around in the streets, bloody nothing, while 1, all the foreigners take over. 2, the politicians clap them on. And 3, we continue to sit there and look stupid while the other 2 are making progress. So unless these 5 candidates that remain can stop doing the dumb stuff, stop playing games like they're 2.5 years old, and get about the business of running this damn country the way it should be run, then don't expect my vote. Any of you. Because I've grown tired now. If your wife was instrumental in getting you extra funds from Goldman Sachs, or if your wife was nude at one time, then she should have kept her damn clothes on. And the other one should have kept her hands out of the tail. But what the hell does that have to do with the shape this country is in? Get about the business of running the country. Leave your dirty laundry in the clothes hamper. I don't want to know about your stupid nude wife. I don't want to know about your stupid wife that had her hand in the tail. I want somebody to get in there and run the country. Because I am sick and tired of not having what we used to have. That was national pride. That was the pride of having a good job. That was a pride of respecting and appreciating what our veterans have done for us. There was the pride of obeying the Constitution and its laws, the Bill of Rights and what it says. Our Constitution needs to be revised. As I've said before, there's lots of good stuff there, but a lot of it is over 200 years old and does not apply to today's standard of living. It needs to be revised. That's the job of the Supreme Court. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of the stuff that they ruled upon should have never even approached the bench. Like this Roe versus Wade crap. Shouldn't even be on the table. As for the other thing, homosexuality. Well, you better believe in LGBTQ or whatever the hell it is. Okay, as far as that's concerned, I don't care about that. Okay? I don't condemn it. I don't condone it. That's your business. If you are a consenting adult and you want to do whatever it is you want to do, that's your business. To me, it's just like if a person wants to buy a Cadillac versus a Buick. I don't condone your buying a Buick, and I don't condemn your buying a Cadillac. It's your choice. You're the one that's got to drive it, not me. As long as you're old enough to drive and you have a valid driver's license, you can buy any kind of car you want. I don't care. Same with this thing. If you're a guy and you want to be with another guy and you're a consenting adult, go for it. I don't condemn or condone. But this abortion thing, that's crap. That's murder. And I'm still looking for that person to be in the White House to say, this is murder and it should not be going on, and I'll do everything in my power to reverse it. Get about the business of running this country the way it should be run. Close up the borders, tighten them up. Get the jobs back here. Respect the veterans who have served so well for this country, and respect those soldiers that are still out there serving. I'm not talking so much about the uppity muckety mucks of the military, the generals, the admirals, and the big muckety mucks. They're there because they like it. They love it. I'm talking about the average Joe Blow soldier over there who's there because he has to be. Fighting dumb wars that we shouldn't even be in. But they're there, and they're fighting, and they're serving to the best of their ability. And when they come home, half a person that they were when they went, you don't even take care of them. How shameful is that? But you go and rub shoulders with communists and make sure what they want is, we want to lift the sanctions so they can get money. But you don't even pay the soldiers what they're deserving, laying their lives on the line every bloody day. But you can sit up and talk about somebody's wife. Oh, you need to grow up. We need to find some adults send to these different parties, and then maybe we can work on. I even read a part where they said we don't even have to consider the Republicans or the Democrats. There were 3 people that were in some other independent party, never saw the light of day, never saw any of their debates, don't even know they exist. I bet you half of the people that are seeing this right now don't know what the hell I'm talking about, because even I didn't know they existed until I was on some social media, Google Plus, and I saw it. And I said, this is a damn shame to know that there were 3 other, in fact, there are 3 other candidates out there, and we don't even know who they are, because they never made it to the mainstream. That is ridiculous in a supposed democracy. Where's the democratic process in that? It's bad enough we have to go hunting on computers and searching and trying to find the debates instead of them being on 2, 4, or 7, the 3 national channels in this country. But yet they can put a car chase on for 5 or 6 hours, or fire for 5 or 6 hours. It's not even in our neck of the woods, but they can't put on the presidential debates. What does that tell you? American people, you better wake up and smell the damn political coffee, because it's rank, it's foul, and I wouldn't even want to taste it. We've got much to think about during this election. You just had 8 years of the worst bastard that has ever taken the White House. Do you want to repeat it? Ask yourself that question. Grown tired of this show already. Exec, you got anything to say before I close it out?
Well, yeah, I kind of echo a lot of the things you're saying. This political craziness where these people just take digs at each other's campaigns and at each other personally. They just drive a stake into the heart, you know. I've seen people go down in the dirt before, but these people are going so far down in the dirt that they're at the earth's core. You know, to have, you know, some of the people, and I won't mention names, but you probably know which one it is, to have people say, oh, so-and-so's genitalia is not very big because their hands aren't very big, and that this person was pissing themselves in the back room because they're scared, and then to actually go and personally attack someone's wife, you know, is ridiculous. And then if you're going to do something like that, actually admit to it is even worse, because you're admitting fault, and then showing that you're that, you know, dogmatic about something, that you're going to attack someone's family, that's just insane, you know, to go through that much trouble. The people must be awful desperate to get into the White House if they're willing to do all that kind of craziness, instead of actually show people, I'm above that, like Ben Carson did. I'm just going to focus on my campaign, what I can do. I'm not going to waste any breaths, any words on what the other people are doing wrong, what the other people's faults are. I'm going to show you what my, you know, good things are, my, you know, my attributes. I'm going to show you what's good about my campaign instead. And as far as this abortion thing goes, he shouldn't have flip-flopped like that. If you say something, you mean it, especially a major issue like that, and that didn't show any kind of consistency in his campaign. I also agree with you in the same way that they have a double standard with this. If they can charge, like you said, 2 cases of murder when a pregnant person gets killed, and then not charged for the same murder when it's just an abortion or a murder, which it actually is, that's a double standard right there. That's hypocrisy right there. You know, the life begins at conception. I've always believed that, and to kill someone that didn't ask to be here before they even get a chance to be here is just crazy. Like you said, they need to be put in some kind of place to check their mental status, you know. And I was trying to think of what else there was to talk about here, but I'm drawing a blank, so I won't make the show have any more dead air, and I'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, you know, you're right on so many scores. Just to think about this thing, it all happened within a very close proximity of each other. First of all, there was the sexual revolution. Oh, you can free-love anybody. You love anybody that's 25 feet away from your genitalia. Just, you know, put it out there without the sanctity of marriage. Then they came up with this feminist movement. And then here comes this Roe versus Wade crap. All within a close, I think it's like within 5 years of each other. And all of this crap happened. Well, see, like I said, the morals have slipped in this country so much so that they have to reach up to touch bottom. If you just want to kill the little person because of collateral damage, well, I don't want this, I got to be free to love. I can't love with being pregnant. Well, then, go get a hysterectomy or something. Or have the guy have a vasectomy. Okay? But still, you're murdering your kid. And I just can't even fathom the mentality of what that stipulates. I was heartbroken. I was young, and I was, a kid, and I saw people with, siblings. And, we were supposed to have a sister. And, how heartbroken that was when we found out that mother had an abortion. Okay, deprive me of a sister. Deprive you of a sister. It's ridiculous to think that anybody could just accept this as a normal thing. Oh, I'm going to go get my toenails clipped today. Oh, I'm going to have an appendectomy. Oh, I'm going to go and have my gallstones removed. Oh, I'm going to go and kill my unborn child. And it's just the norm. I mean, God, where are the morals in this country? Where is the feeling? Ain't you got no feelings, you bastard?
It's so accepted to
You have a life growing inside of you.
to have an abortion, to have a murder, but it's so unaccepted to kill someone. You go through trials and courts and everything.
Just like I said, if the kid is still in the side of the woman, it's okay, it's legal. But just suppose, upon minutes, seconds of giving birth, the mother's holding the baby and she has postpartum depression and she throws the baby on the floor and busts his brains out. They're going to come in here, slap the clinks on her, and take her ass to jail.
It's just a difference of inside and outside.
Murder is murder, whether it's inside the body or outside the body. And for somebody to flip-flop on that, it's, I misunderstood the question. No, you didn't. I heard the man. See, a lot of stuff they say about Donald Trump, I don't pay attention to. Because I know that it's propaganda, it's a bunch of clay, and they're trying to get the guy. But when I see him and hear him open his mouth, then all cards are off the table. I know you said it because I saw you. Unless somebody's doing some real good photoshopping or, whatever. I saw you. And you said it. The man asked him a poignant, direct question. He answered that question. And then within 24 hours, he flip-flopped. Now, there's another thing going on out there about him and Lewandowski. They're saying that Lewandowski is being rolled back on his duties as the campaign manager, and a lot of people are filling in now. That, too, sends up red flags because that conjures up, visions of old bastard with his minister. He threw his minister under the bus when it got too hot. So is Lewandowski now being thrown under the bus because of this whore, this news whore that he allegedly roughed up? I don't know. But, hey, if you slip up on one end, you may slip up on the other. So that's my spin on it. And we thank you for being here with us on this tired excursion. And there's 3.5 months or so to go until this other craziness and then the actual voting itself in the general election. Heaven knows which way that's going. We'll try our best to stay here with you and not just poop out and say forget it, although it is hard. I guess the exec wants to say something else.
Yeah, I mean to interrupt, but before I forget, concerning the Lewandowski thing, I remember hearing in the media that he said in a Twitter response or something like that, he hasn't even met her before, and she herself said, and I quote, was that, and Lewandowski's first name, like she didn't even know who it was, and she's claiming it's him and everything, so that's ridiculous too.
Well, it's trumped up on so many, pardon the pun, so many scores, but what gets me is the fact that whether they knew each other or not, or whether he actually threw her on her butt, isn't the case. when your own employer doesn't have enough respect for what you said to stand behind you and you quit because of it. That's the telling thing right there. And this news whore has not only been in it with Donald Trump, she's been in it with so many other celebrities and or, news people that she's supposed to be covering. So she's a news whore. She's a skis. And when your own people don't back you, that tells the story right there. So, we thank you for being here with us. If you'd like to subscribe, button's right over there. And you can subscribe to us if you so feel desired. And join us again on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Try to stay happy, try to stay safe, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.